Hello and welcome to the Daily Comic and Collectible, episode 238. Now today, the collectible of the day is the Marvel Legends Super Skrull Build-A-Figure Fantastic Four Human Torch action figure. Johnny Storm is a member of the Fantastic Four, along with his sister, Susan, the Invisible Woman. Johnny can transform his body into incredible hot plasma, control fire, and even fly. With 80 years of comic book history, Marvel has become a cornerstone of fan collectors from around the world. This figure has been designed with premium detail and articulation for top-of-the-line posability and displayability. This 1/12 scale 6-inch action figure of the Human Torch is from the comic-inspired design with premium articulation for those comic book-inspired poses. This figure is part of the Super Skrull Build-A-Figure series, and the box contains the Human Torch figure, one pair of alternate plasma hands, two detailed wrist-arm flame effects, and two Super Skrull arms, released in 2019 by Hasbro Toys. Now, the comic of the day is very special to me, being the very last AOK I received from someone I consider a very close friend. It is Fantastic Four number 64, with a cover date of July 1967, with story by Stan Lee, art by Jack Kirby, and cover by Jack Kirby. This issue is titled The SENTRY SINISTER. As Ben and Reed work in the lab, Sue expresses frustrations over working for 2 weeks non-stop, and she demands the team takes a vacation. After talking it through, they all decide it's a good idea, after all their recent battles and discoveries. Meanwhile, on a deserted island in the South Pacific Ocean, a couple of explorers search for the existence of an ancient alien civilization on the island. I wonder if they work for the Ancient Aliens series. Anyway, after using a strange artifact, the older explorer triggers an energy beam at a protruding rock. That leads to an underground facility belonging to a highly technological species, the Kree. Inside, they find a massive robot that identifies itself as SENTRY, Vol 1, number 459. Their guide, like a true idiot, fires his gun at the robot, and it immobilizes them with a mass of colloidal atoms. Back at the Baxter Building, the Fantastic Four decide where to go on vacation by throwing a dart at the map. And wouldn't you know it, it hits that same deserted island. Reed, Sue, and Ben leave in the pogo plane headed to the island, while Johnny stays behind to spend time with Crystal. Triton also stays behind to look after Crystal and Lockjaw. A little later, the SENTRY emerges from the bunker to activate a protective screen around the island that will destroy intruders. At that same moment, the Fantastic Four arrive and fly through the protection, thanks to Sue's invisible force shield, which surprises the SENTRY. It grabs the plane, but the Fantastic Four manage to get out. The thing hits hard enough to break away the SENTRY's outer housing, but its instant repair circuits kick in and it begins to overpower the thing. Then Mr. Fantastic saves the thing by knocking the SENTRY into the water. At the Baxter Building, Johnny and Crystal are spending time together while Triton tests out the new air cycles. Johnny and Crystal get interrupted by a distress call from Sue. Sue keeps everyone safe until Johnny gets transported there by Lockjaw. That's when the Torch enters the battle. During the fight, one of Johnny's flames burns down into the facility below, causing an explosion that cracks the facility. Because of this, they find the archaeologist and their guide, and free them. The island begins to explode as Lockjaw teleports them all away just in the nick of time. Left alone, the SENTRY stands down, unable to abandon his post, even as the island explodes around it. Geek fact: the man who finds the hidden SENTRY is the same man who finds the hidden Temple of the Celestials in Eternals number 1. Bonus geek fact: the Kree SENTRY was first sent to Earth 25,000 years ago. His original mission was to monitor the development of the Inhumans. And final geek fact. The destruction of the Kree Sentry in this issue is what renews the Kree's interest in planet Earth. Later, they send a crew commanded by Jan Rog. And bonus final geek fact. This mission led to Jan Rog sending Mar-Vell to the planet. And the rest is, how should we say, history. Well, I'd like to thank you for joining me for today's Daily Comic and Collectible, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. This is CatFan ComicsMan, and I'll catch you on the flip. Over and out.